Hello, Matt.
Hello.
And Dewey.
Hiya.
Oh, shit. The gang's back. Back at it again.
I've returned.
From the shores of the old world.
The
It really
prodigal,
was, though.
the prodigal son has come home. What are we doing, Matt?
I think it's a podcast, right? That's what we're doing.
Is that what this is?
Some would say that it is an excuse for a podcast. Yes,
Gamers 2 podcast,
that's the correct one.
March 22nd. That's right.
Yep.
That's the accurate day.
2019. That is all. Good show. See ya.
So next week will be the 29th,
Ninth.
and we'll talk to you guys then. See you. Bye. What have Dewey?
Ooh, sorry.
What have you been doing? Yeah, because you got a longer list potentially.
Okay.
What have you been up to in the last month?
That's a long
Because that's the last time you were here.
Well,
If you want to keep it more relevant to the last 7 days, go ahead.
I'll probably do that. Aside from gaming, I went to...
No, I don't care about London.
Listen, it
Let's
was
roll
great.
it back.
So I went to London. It was a great time. Fabulous trip. Did so many British things.
Tea and crumpets, fish and chips.
Yeah, of course I got fish and chips. You have to.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
They're really into prawn. Very much
Oh
into
yeah, prawn is a very
Gross. Not a fan.
Europe. It's a European thing.
What is prawn exactly?
Like a crayfish?
I think
Yeah,
that's what I think of when.
It's essentially the same thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
English words, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from that, I've been playing Hollow Knight recently. Getting absolutely destroyed. I suck at the game.
Did you bring your Switch with you?
I did. I just played Smash on the plane, but that was it. I didn't really play it when I was there.
Yeah.
Just tried to clear some of the adventure mode, which is the longest thing known to man. Can't do it.
Every Smash. I remember playing the one on the Wii. It's the only other one that I played the adventure mode of.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Every time you do something in there, though, it like opens up a new area
Yeah.
or makes the world bigger. And every time it's like, oh, I've almost done it. They're like, not even close, buddy. You got like 10 more hours. And then I just started playing Sekiro.
Oh, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice.
And I suck. Horrible. Bad at the game.
The best part is he'll say this, and then when he's here, not next week, but the week after, if he's here, or whenever the next time he shows up, he'll be like, yeah, I beat it. It only took me like 5 hours after I kind of figured out what I was doing.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you just haven't figured it out yet. You got to get into the rhythm, and then you'll be like, murking bosses, and I'll be like, I don't fucking understand how this game works. And
I've had a lot less patience with game recently, so like Hollow Knight I've been playing and like I'll fight a boss and I'll die and that's like, well, I'm fucking done with this. I don't want to play it anymore.
me every other day.
But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it.
And Binding of Isaac.
I mean, you always got to play it.
Because we might have been playing Division, and my Steam notification went off that Dewey has launched Binding of Isaac. And I said to Matt, fucking kill him.
I haven't played in like 2 months, but I was like bored because I got shit on at Hollow Knight, and I was like, I don't have anything else to play. I logged on and I did an achievement on there. At least I haven't done it on my PC. Did it the first try, and I was super hype on that. Ultra hard challenge, hardest thing in the world.
So Matt, tell us about your terms of success.
I don't have success.
All right, tell us your terms of failure in the last 7 days.
Okay. Let's see here. I haven't watched anything really, other than the normal routine, which everyone knows of. What has been new? The Division. That's all I've really been playing. The Division 2, but the game hates me. So my issues with it have been yesterday. What's yesterday? What's today?
Today's Friday.
Yesterday was Thursday.
And the day before that was Wednesday.
One of those days I was trying to play a good amount. And I couldn't make it like 30 minutes to an hour without my PC hard locking and crashing. So it took me like 2 hours to get through a single mission. And then prior to that, I was like, I wanted to level up. I wanted to bang out some XP. So I'm like, I'm going to do some story missions. I'm going to get in this matchmaking. Did the matchmaking, story missions, chose difficulty setting normal, went into matchmaking. Apparently that's broken in some regard because it kept sticking me into hard level. And I don't know if you've attempted hard level yet.
No. No, I haven't even seen hard difficulty things yet. I just see story difficulty. I'm not maxed out yet, so I don't see.
Just story difficulty, like the main missions. Like
Right, they say story difficulty.
there's story, there's normal, there's hard.
I don't see the other two.
So matchmaking, I did normal, and it stuck me in with the hard ones. But it kept sticking me into hard level ones. I quit a couple times. And with people who are similar to the same level I am. So 8, 9, 7,
Okay, right.
around there. Nigh fucking impossible to play that game on hard difficulty at our level. So banging my head against the wall. Quit that. Start to do solo things. Reset. All right, let me get back over here. Reset. So, yeah, that's been my week of playing the Division 2 right now. On top of the fact that, like, I do not comprehend, like, the cover system as far as, like, it won't let me out of cover sometimes unless I sit there and, like, just angry beat my keyboard. But, or if I just, like, if I roll out of cover, it'll let me out. But yeah, those are my issues. That's what I've been doing this week.
Have you tried getting good?
You know what? I've been trying that for 30 years of my life, and it hasn't worked. So
That's fair.
yeah, I don't know. That's a whole set of issues that I don't like. The PC issues, not the get good, because there's no helping that. The PC stuff, I don't know. I'm not looking forward to it, but inevitably I'll have to delve into that and figure out what the problem is. So I have nothing good to report. How about you, Nate? I'm sure it's sunshine and roses on your end.
Because as we know, when Matt has problems, Nate does not. So, Division 2 has been great. It hasn't crashed once for me. I sometimes do have a couple problems with the cover system, but I have never had to mash my keyboard.
I kind of figured it out today when I played a little bit.
I haven't had any matchmaking problems. The only times I've had like matchmaking problems aren't problems where it's like matchmaking me into stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It's problems with the actual people and when they're choosing to matchmake and shit like that.
Yeah.
And me getting irritated with them like, oh yeah, I want to matchmake for this mission, but they're not near the mission. They're often bumfuck safe house that's not even close. So I just get to the mission, then queue up, so that way when I spawn on you, I'm already there with you. I don't have to spend 30 minutes running there.
Yeah, that would make sense.
That's an annoying thing.
Does it not?
I also go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, does it not put you when you matchmake with somebody? Does it put you like at the start of the mission?
It puts you with them.
It just puts you in the group,
Where
which
that
is kind of
person,
weird.
wherever that person's standing.
That's infuriating.
Which, it's good because you can do the free roam matchmaking where you call for help or whatever, and somebody could just join you and they'll spawn right with you. But when you can queue for a mission from a map far away, and sometimes it'll give you the option to teleport to that mission start, but it won't always work.
Okay.
Which that's a broken matchmaking problem I have. But whatever, I just run there. Like I'm not getting dropped into stupid difficulties and unable to kill things. Like,
dude, that was something else, man. Holy shit! Everyone was purple and yellow.
Yeah. Nope, haven't gotten there yet. I remember that stuff from running the challenging stuff and whatever in Division 1 at Endgame, but not, I wouldn't do it leveling up.
Yeah.
Not that you had a choice, I mean, obviously, but like, I figured that would have been something that they probably would have, because I don't remember seeing those difficulties as I'm doing the matchmaking, so I figured it was one, like, you unlock it after you beat either that mission or after you beat the story is when they unlock the tier challenge stuff. But,
yeah.
Well then. So in case you're curious, the way it worked before, and I don't know if it's true again this time, is it went normal, hard, challenging.
Well, now the settings that I see are story, normal, hard.
So maybe they just moved everything up one. We'll find out more when like World Tier 5 comes out and stuff like that.
But from what it presents at the menu, I don't think there's an XP difference.
No, it's usually a loot difference.
They didn't. That was the other part. Like that would make sense, but like it didn't specify that there would be a loot difference either. But it could just be, that it just doesn't show you that or tell you that.
Right. Yeah, before it was loot differences on completion, not like necessarily during the mission, but it was your completion rewards were different depending on what difficulty you were playing on. But that's really the only game I've been playing. I'm still second in Tetris.
Yeah.
I'm still dominating Mario Kart. I say dominating Mario Kart. I'm still winning Mario Kart when I'm playing it on Saturday nights with like our West Coast people.
Get good.
Is that an open challenge?
Oh.
I mean, sure.
All right. I haven't played the. I don't have it for the Switch, but I'll get it just to beat you.
You can just play me in Smash and beat me in that.
I like where this is going.
All right. We can do that also.
Because you already own Smash. You don't need to buy the game to beat me. I'll just play your copy of Smash when we go to Boston, and you can just beat me in that.
Okay.
Because I know you'll wreck me.
I'm usually pretty good at those.
It'll basically be like if I just somehow manage to cheese like a down B or something, and that'll be it. I'll just find one character I like, and it's like Star Fox when it does a splits, and I'll just do that the entire time.
He's pretty good if you can use him.
He's who I last used on like GameCube. It was the last time I played like a consistent Smash. Anyway, that's really it.
The only thing I wish that the Division had was matchmaking for side missions. That wasn't free roam.
Yeah, that part is kind of weird, and the free roam stuff, because it's up to the person to answer the call.
Yeah,
you could be halfway through the mission, and then finally somebody might show up. Mm-hmm. And I've run into that a little bit too. Like I was trying to do a checkpoint, and there were patrols around me, and I was like, I really don't want to aggro these patrols, and I also don't want, because you shoot your flare, you start the thing immediately.
Yeah.
So I did the call for help. And then I was just waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting. I'm like, I've been here for 5 minutes. Like, nobody's coming. Do I just start this? And that was when I was standing against the wall, like in a bush, which I know there's no stealth in the game, but I'm standing in a wall against a bush, and a patrol guard walks by me, and he's like, oh, hey, you there. And I'm just like, oh, no. And then he aggroes me, which aggroes the people in the base. So then at that point, I'm like, well, I might as well shoot the flare and start this. So then I shoot the flare. And then it's me versus 15. In case you're curious about how that ends up, I'm dead. And I have to run back from a safe house.
Yeah. Yeah. There's definitely like a bit of a learning curve initially because like the AI is far more intelligent than the previous game. Yeah. And they will just constantly flank you. Yeah. And from both sides at the same time. They like, and
then they'll flank you up the middle.
Yep.
Because they'll send a shotgun at you. And you're
like,
cool. Thanks, game. Still really like the game. I still really enjoy it.
I like it. It's just I'm having you can't play well by yourself is the problem I'm having.
It gets harder to
like you can do it, but it's not as enjoyable because you have to you go so slow that
even when the two of us played together, it was fun.
Yeah.
Just adding that one other person to your party.
Mm-hmm.
But if you needed another game, Matt, or Dewey, to play, I got a list for you.
Let's hear it.
You could play Turok on your Switch.
Like Turok.
Yes.
Like Turok.
OG Turok.
Interesting.
You could play a game called Hell Warders on the Xbox.
Nope.
You could play a game called The Sinking City on PlayStation 4, Xbox, and PC.
That came out?
According to the list I was looking at. You could play a game called Caretaker on PC. You could play a game called Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, PS4, Xbox, and PC. You could play one called Stories, The Path of Destinies for Xbox. Sushi Time on the Switch. Trailmakers on the Xbox. And Unravel 2, our boy Yarny, made it to the Switch.
I'm proud of him.
Woo.
I'm going to let you take off.
Okie dokie.
Artichoke. Also, in the fun order of things as normal, did you proofread what I wrote?
No, I haven't looked at anything.
Perfect. Here we go. I might have tried to sneak a turtle bitch on him.
That was an accident, though.
I know.
That's not fair.
I really wish you had been here or listened to the podcast anyway, Dewey.
I do sometimes.
You don't lie to me.
I do sometimes.
Don't you lie. Don't you sass me.
I don't now that I don't have a job, so I don't have time to listen to it. I mean, I have
Wait a second.
nothing but time to listen to it.
The time now when you have the most time is when you don't listen to the podcast.
Well, yes, because before I was at work and I needed to listen to something while I was doing work. Okay. But now I can do literally anything, which is not just... you know how it goes.
Plane trips to London.
Yeah,
Stuff like that. We got time to kill. We got thousands of hours of content. Not really.
Maybe hundreds.
Hundreds isn't wrong. Hundreds is definitely right.
Not thousands.
No, that'd be sickening.
But there was a moment last week where we were reading about Turtle Beach news, and for some reason in Matt's typing up a bit, at one point it said Turtle Bitch. And I just read it Ron Burgundy style, just straight through, and then
Turtle Bitch.
It's like, yeah, and Turtle Bitch is... And I was gone. I was done.
Yeah, it snuck in there. It wasn't
all
intended.
The other ones were Turtle Beach.
Yeah.
Just in the middle of the paragraph is Turtle Bitch.
I think you did it on purpose.
I didn't. I wish I did. I wish I could claim that, but I didn't. It must have been Google was like, this will be funny.
And it's funny because I know he didn't do it here because when he makes a change in that, it doesn't update onto mine unless I close it and reopen it and stuff. So, yeah.
Because I was confused. He said it, and I was like, that doesn't say that. And I looked and was like, oh, it does. My bad.
Anyway, into the news for this week.
Yeah, first up, we have Game Launcher War updates.
Is that what we're calling them? The Launcher Wars?
The Launcher Wars.
I like the title.
Yeah, I stole it from a Reddit post. It was a meme that someone had created.
A meme?
Yeah.
I'm a May.
Exactly.
There's no accent on the second E.
So Epic Game Store has landed more exclusives, including ripping one from the clutches of Steam. I'm being dramatic, but the Reddit community is pissed about it, as always. Obsidian's The Outer Worlds will be on Epic Game Store and the Windows Store for a year before coming to Steam. That's the one everyone's pissed about because it was advertised as being on Steam. And when it was announced, there was something about the devs were working on achievements hours before they announced that it was exclusive to Epic Game Store. So they were working on the Steam achievements. I don't know what's going on with that. The publisher makes these kind of decisions, so that falls to Take-Two. The other exclusives in question are Control by developer Remedy of Quantum Break fame. Detroit Become Human, Heavy Rain, and Beyond Two Souls are coming to PC on Epic. Epic and Ubisoft announced that they will continue the partnership after The Division 2, whatever that means.
Assassin's Creed.
You know what it means.
Basically. Skull and Bones.
Yeah, that thing's not coming out. Starlink.
Oh, yeah. After Party, which is from the people who made Oxenfree, is also going to be exclusive to Steam. The Sinking City, which apparently came out. And Industries of Titan will all be Epic Game Store exclusives. Last week, Epic CEO tweeted, quote, "We wholeheartedly support Keem. Woo!
Commander?
We wholeheartedly support key sales for non-exclusive games," end quote. And boom, just like that, Epic Game Store is partnering with Humble Bundle, so you'll be able to get those game keys for Epic Game Store from Humble Bundle, including exclusives.
My favorite part is you've broken our first story. It took me till the end of the podcast last time to break.
It's going to be a rough one. I can already tell. I'm like having a really hard time speaking.
Do you have the quote in here that he talked about the quality of the games?
I didn't add that in.
I believe it was Tim Sweeney, the Epic CEO, again said, "We're not gonna." Basically, this is not a direct quote, but I'm gonna make it more colorful. Basically said, "We're not gonna add shit games to our store."
Yep. What else? There was some other good stuff this week for like people saying like ridiculous shit. Oh my God. The Take-Two CEO was quoted a bit about, basically he was saying that, they weren't going to do things to upset their customers and they weren't into doing exclusives, basically.
Yeah, there were comments. This was 2 months ago.
Yeah,
he had said shit about there's no reason to do exclusivity and all this other stuff, and then he just immediately pulls the rug out from under him and goes. And I'm just laughing. I'm like, do you consumers actually think companies owe you anything? Because guess what, they don't. Continue though.
Yeah, they don't care. Let's see here. Where were we? At Epic's GDC keynote, the company announced that Metro Exodus sold 2.5 times better on Epic Store than Metro Last Light did on Steam.
Ooh, shit. Got him.
I think that just proves that there's no such thing as bad publicity. Where are we? Valve is as much a different... Oh my God. It's going to be a long episode.
Are you doing okay?
I'm not. I'm having a stroke right now.
Do I need to read the rest of this, the whole thing?
Yes.
I'm having a stroke.
I mean, I will.
Valve is in a much different position than Epic, so they can afford to take a more wait-and-see approach with Steam. With that being said, Valve has shown off some new features and redesigns coming to Steam at this year's GDC. On top of the new Steam Link Anywhere software, Valve gave everyone a peek at the Steam library redesign. It's been rumored for years, but should finally see the light of day this coming summer. The redesign is a more visual-based design with thumbnail tiles for games, with the friends list being moved to the right column. The other big feature announced was events. Did you? Any of you guys read about the events?
No, because
they sound stupid.
If they're basically what I remember being like the PlayStation events. Like, you know how you get the alerts for the PlayStation events?
Worthless.
Events can be tournaments, content patches, flash sales for games on users' wish list, and bonus periods or live streams.
Well, it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same stuff.
Shit.
And you want to know what I do with all my notifications on PlayStation?
Mute
Turn
them.
off. Delete. Friend request. Oh, somehow Dewey got me in a group message for gift card. Yeah, delete.
I didn't do it. Did I do this?
It was either you or Tyler. Somehow they pulled people off your friends list. This is a while ago, back when I think we were playing like GTA, and there were it was the spam messages about like people being like, "Oh, $5 something gift card." And
this was Tyler, and then he did it to me, and I was furious.
yeah, because you guys were both in there. So
yeah.
Anyway, that's a niche thing.
Didn't have that problem.
Lucky you. I also went in and modified my message settings after that.
I also did.
Yeah, so a lot of changes on the PC front.
Yep, a bit.
It is worth noting also too, though, in the Outer World thing for the Take-Two also obviously owns Metro, so expect to see more Take-Two titles going that way.
Yep, which is sad, but oh well. What's interesting about Outer World is it's Epic Store and Windows Store,
right?
But not Steam.
Right, which, once again, I don't think anybody's considering Windows Store a competitor at this point. So,
yeah, but that's even more of a slap in the face, I feel like.
To Steam, yeah.
Steam,
I agree. But it's the same thing when, like, the Master Chief thing, which I think we're going to be talking about here, like, where that's available, too. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
But nobody's going to buy it on Windows Store. Like, the only reason we bought anything on the Windows Store is because we could play Forza Horizon 3 there.
Yeah.
4, we used the Xbox app for the Game Pass, so... But while we're on the subject, I'll go ahead and take number 2. And since we're already talking about Epic, CEO Tim Sweeney has announced that Epic is launching a 5-year program called Epic Mega Grants. That should be, like, I don't know, not a villain.
It does.
Just Mega Grants. I don't know, something about it.
Yeah, it doesn't sound right.
Sounds like a really bad sitcom, like, promo.
Yeah.
Like a moment in a sitcom that would be used. Like, check it out. Anyway. Called Epic Mega Grants. It's a no-strings-attached $100 million grant program that'll write checks for $5,000 to $500,000 for any project Epic thinks are interesting. A little snippet from the press release reads, quote, "All grant recipients will continue to own their IP and will be free to publish however they wish. Submissions will be evaluated and grants awarded on a continual rolling basis as funds allow, with no firm deadlines to submit." End quote.
I have a question about this.
Yes.
The no strings attached. Does that mean they can get money from Epic and then be like, I'm going to publish this elsewhere? I could see that being a huge issue.
They specifically state that they can publish wherever they want.
So it's a huge issue, but it's the same thing you see a lot of people do where they're like, listen, no strings attached, do what you want. I'll just give you $1,000.
I get where you're going with this.
There's never not a string attached.
Yeah.
But it's just not legally a string attached.
It's the series of events like Epic's like, oh, Epic Game Store. And then they're like, our cut's really good. And then they're like, here's all these tools to make games for free. By the way, you want a grant? Like
something, I don't know. This is shady to me.
And then they just go, you can publish elsewhere.
Wink.
But if I was you and you wanted to use this a second time, I fucking wouldn't.
I want to see.
I just picture Tim Sweeney, basically like Mickey Mouse with a knife. You're just like, where he's just like, come on, kids, it's gonna be a lot of fun. And I swear to God, if you leave this theme park, I am gonna cut you.
And then one of those.
Oh, kids,
uh,
I'm gonna cut your throats out.
yeah.
Yeah, sadistic Mickey gets a really weird impression.
Okay. So we're talking about Google later, right?
Yeah, we'll save Google to the end because that's going to be a giant
It's a huge, massive
load.
gay.
Ooh. Up next is Lucasfilms Games. I hate that name. It's a stupid name.
I mean, it was always stupid.
Some people noticed that Disney had some listings on their career site.
Why is it one word? That's all
I don't
I'm
know.
saying.
I don't know.
That's a 2-word. Hyphen at most. Come on.
Give me something.
Anyway, yes.
Some folks noticed that Disney had some career listings on their career page for Lucasfilms Games, which is an old incarnation. It's actually the predecessor to LucasArts. Old. And
Star Wars Galaxies is coming back, folks.
oh, don't tease me. That was still LucasArts, I think.
Never mind. Good luck.
Long story short, people were like, oh shit, Disney's doing some stuff. It turns out that LucasArts or Lucasfilms Games has been in existence since, oh my God, since Disney purchased Lucasfilms,
Right.
and they're using it basically as a intermediary between EA and all the other companies that are making video games for Disney. So they hire producers, executive producers, associates, all that crap under that umbrella, and then they work with EA or whoever.
They're a talent agency.
Yeah, essentially. They're a go-between for Disney and all their minion video game makers.
So we can blame Lucasfilms Games
Yes.
for all the shit that we've gotten.
I wish. I wish there was someone we could blame for that. EA.
It's EA. We can
George,
blame EA.
George Lucas. He sold out.
What a piece of work he is.
Oh, you sellout.
It just blows my
Disney.
mind that what would they pay? $4.5 billion?
Yeah.
And they got Star Wars, LucasArts, Lucasfilms, so that's like Indiana Jones. That's for $4.5 billion.
Yep.
That doesn't, I mean, that's a lot of money, but it doesn't seem like.
This is one of those where everybody talks about like Amazon and Google being bad. Do you realize Disney controls all the media?
They own
Oh, yeah.
literally everything, and they're growing at a scary rate.
Have you guys seen the meme, the Thanos meme? With
I don't think I have.
It's like Disney is Thanos, and he's putting the franchises and
Fantastic.
in the club.
Fantastic.
It takes the strongest of wills.
You stop that.
The hardest choices require the strongest of wills.
Did you get it?
Yes.
And what did it cost?
Everything.
Oh, Josh Brolin, never change.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
The only thing that would have been better is if for some reason this is a complete Infinity War, and I'm just going to make the last reference before I move on to the next story, is if they did a Dark Knight reference when he goes to do the snap, instead of saying,
Oh, you should have gone for the head.
come on. The better line is, and here we go. Come on, we all know. We all saw the Joker hanging upside down. And here we go. And he just...
That just went better.
It would have been funny. Because I just would have been like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I'd have been in the theater alone because that's how we watched it. And I'd just gone, are you fucking serious?
You would have posted on somewhere as Disney buying DC confirmed.
Yeah. And then I also would have been about 4 weeks late to the party because that's when I saw the movie. At number 5, I'm not rechanging these numbers because I'm going to confuse myself. So number 5, Oculus has unveiled a new VR headset at GDC. They'll be phasing out the Rift and replacing it with the Rift S. Why is S the go-to for slightly second?
Slightly second.
Is it like an S tier thing? Like, is that what they're going for?
I guess. But where's the S tier thing come from?
Racing.
But
if you're classing cars, ASX.
Yeah, but then it's like, where does that come from?
I don't know. Latin?
I have no idea.
You just trace everything back to that, right?
It's always Latin.
Dude, I'm asking you. You tell me.
You're the racing guy. Matt the racing guy. That's what I've always called you on this podcast.
That's weird. I don't recall that.
Sorry, who brought up Formula One to this?
Well, that's Formula One. They don't have they have super licenses, so maybe it's super.
Ooh.
Super.
They'll be phasing out the Rift and replacing it with the Rift S. The Rift S features Oculus Insight, a system that uses built-in cameras to accomplish room tracking instead of using external trackers like the original headset. Rift 2 also has a higher resolution display that is 1280 by 1440 per eye with a 80 Hz refresh rate.
Rift 2.
That sounds lower than
Ron
what it's
Burgundy
recommended. Rift 2 Electric Boogaloo? Yeah. Oh, yeah, you did write Rift 2 instead of Rift S.
That was my bad.
Gotcha.
Rift 2 Electric Boogaloo. All right. It also has a few more features, and we won't go over them, but most importantly, it's launching at $399 and will be backwards compatible with all Rift games.
I think the original was just 1080p per eye.
It was, but it was also 90 hertz.
I don't know. Maybe they figured that
maybe at a higher resolution you don't need higher hertz. I don't know. Because it was a thing about like the motion with each eye that if you weren't at a certain thing, it would like
it wouldn't look right.
$400 price point though.
Yeah, no, right?
That's a $300 drop off their original. They were $699 on Rift Originals.
Yeah, that's affordable.
Yeah.
And you don't need the stupid fucking
you
things
don't
anymore.
You don't need the room extensions and everything like that. I mean, you boys want to buy a headset?
That's what I was thinking. I saw that and I was like, oh, really?
That doesn't sound bad. I would be interested in that for sure.
Yeah.
I wonder if Vive's going to have something.
I'm sure they will. I mean, I was in a huge VR talk at work the other day.
Yeah.
Because we all didn't want to do work, and I noticed one of my guys was browsing on VR headsets, and so they're all gaming people, and so we all just sat down, and it was just a giant but have you seen this headset or this one and they're just naming things I haven't even heard of because they're not in like the gaming sphere. They're like, yeah, but then like the second version, this is supposed to do this stuff, and I'm just like,
there's like a ton of them now.
Oh, because they were also looking at the mixed reality stuff.
Yep. Which is part of the Windows thing.
Yeah, Windows mixed reality.
Yeah.
So there was just a lot of fun VR talk and seeing what other people thought.
The feature that I left out because it was just too wordy to explain was they have a tech that uses the external cameras, so you can do they didn't specifically say it, but my idea is that you could do some sort of AR with it if you wanted to in a room, obviously, but it also can scan your room and show you what they're calling, quote, guardian lines, where there's furniture and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so,
hey, you probably shouldn't walk right here because you're going to smash your TV.
Yeah, or break your shin on a coffee table or whatever.
You want to stub your toe? This is how you stub your toe. Cool. I mean, the $400 I think is the biggest news out of that. It's the combination of the $400 plus not needing the room towers that basically make it look like a really weird surround sound setup.
Yeah, I'm definitely intrigued. I don't think they just said that it's supposed to be out with the other headset that they're doing, the standalone one,
right?
Quest, maybe Oculus Quest,
something like that.
So is there no release date, or is it
Go? Go was one of their headsets. That's the really cheap one.
Yeah, I think that it's something longer. I want to say it's a Quest, but I don't know. But it's going to release with that, and I don't know when that's releasing or if they have a release date for it. So
right.
Number 6. It looks like Intel is trying to prove that they're serious about making discrete GPUs. At GDC, Intel's CEO Bob Swan said, quote, "I know how important gamers are to Intel. I am here to simply listen, to learn, and to kind of start my own journey with this community about how we can get better to serve and work with you," end quote. Intel also showed off an early render of a GPU card with a shroud design they are calling Dragon Scale. Some publications are taking the card design a little too seriously by trying to infer performance by the card's size. It closely resembles the size of a traditional ITX graphics card. Intel has taken an interesting approach by releasing an early access version of the software that will be used with their discrete GPUs. It's called Graphics Command Center and is available on the Windows Store to try out. It appears very similar to NVIDIA and AMD offerings, but with slightly less options.
Interesting.
Very interesting. I'm thrilled that there will be another competitor if they, actually get it off the ground.
That's true.
More competition is good.
Yeah, also true.
Speaking of graphics cards, did you see, I can't remember who it was, but someone released a demo showing ray tracing on AMD cards and non-RTX cards.
Okay, so the AMD versus like my card.
Yeah, so like ray tracing working on those, and then shortly after that, NVIDIA was like, yeah, we're making ray tracing available on all the rest of our graphics cards.
Interesting. So. It's funny.
It is. It's kind of funny where they're like, this card, so fantastic, ray tracing. And then they're like, it works on the other ones too, I guess. Like,
yeah, I guess like our G-Sync technology, like,
I'm hoping, it
works with other stuff. I just wish you guys quit looking under the fucking hood.
I'm hoping that what they've done in the past in situations like that is, and I'm hoping they do with this, is they'll make the tensor cores that they are supposed to be used for ray tracing and machine learning available to developers to use in other ways, which would be nice, because then usually they'll be like, oh, how can we make this run the game better, instead of, oh, we have to use it for the stupid fucking feature no one cares about.
And not that it's necessarily a direct comparison, but to have a fun moment would basically be like looking at a Toyota Camry, right? You open up the hood and you're like, that's just the Toyota engine. Okay. Nothing special, nothing particular. But then you see a Lotus Elise pop up and you're like, man, that's a sports car. That looks pretty cool. Oh, what's in it? That's just a Toyota engine. Oh, wait a second. Something's not right here.
That was like, we're going to get off topic here, but Lotus deciding to put a Toyota engine in their car was probably like one of the best like automotive decisions like in history. Because if you're a car company like Lotus, you'd probably be like, can we get like a V8 or something from Mercedes? Can we get like an inline 6 from BMW? They're like, no, let's get that really fucking reliable Toyota Camry engine.
And we'll just make it work.
We'll just squeeze a little bit more power on there, shove it under the hood. Good to go.
Into that tiny car, and somebody just at the first time they were trying to put it in is jumping up and down on top of it. It's like, get in the fucking... Oh! Number 7.
Random. Any comments, Dewey, on Toyota engines?
I don't have any Toyota engine comments at this juncture.
Fine.
Court adjourned. Number 7. It has been a week. Number 8. No. Number 7. It has been a week, so naturally another company is considering creating a video game streaming service. US Gamer is reporting that Walmart has spoken to publishers and developers about the idea. This wouldn't be their first attempt at a streaming service, as they already own Vudu, which provides movies and TV shows on demand, and so let's go ahead and just add them to the launcher list.
Let's not add them to the launcher list.
Listen, they have one of the greatest spoiler track hit records in history.
They really do.
So why not just make it a streaming service where when they spoil the game, you can play it?
That's great. Hey, guys, there's these new games coming out. Oh, they're already out. Our bad. Just play them.
What if they made Wally Kart? What if they made Wally Bro Smash. What if I only like that game if it's just the people from peopleofwalmart.com in Smash?
That would be absolutely fantastic. I would actually play that. And I have so much fun.
I'm going to play as this degenerate homeless person that is wearing a thong on their face like goggles.
What are they going to do? Why? This is unnecessary, it seems like to me.
All right, so what's the list so far?
Of game streaming services? Now, in which context do we want to use?
The context...
the context of the word streaming or the context in the word of library?
We'll go companies that are investigating, at the very least, we'll say investigating, or have, of streaming services.
Ubisoft?
Yeah.
OnLive bought, so Sony.
Mm-hmm. Well, Sony bought Gaikai.
Okay, so Gaikai. Now Sony.
Yeah, Sony.
Google. OnLive, which went to Microsoft.
Yep.
Walmart. Probably Amazon. Is probably at least thinking about it. Verizon's definitely thinking about it.
Yeah, Verizon has a working service.
Yeah.
Steam.
Microsoft. In multiple ways.
Yep.
That's
I feel like
xCloud.
we're forgetting someone.
Origin, EA.
Yeah.
But they're not, like I said, that's where I want to.
What about,
that's where library and streaming gets into a different discussion.
Straight streaming would be, well, it's all those sites for like
Straight
EA.
streaming is Google, Verizon, PS Now,
Microsoft.
only when xCloud comes out.
Yeah, but
Game Pass isn't live streaming.
They're going to do it.
Right. And then that kind of stops it there.
Yeah.
Because, like, Guimond's looking at it. Guimond.
Ubisoft partnered with...
They partnered with Stadia.
Yeah.
Stadia?
Stadia? I think it is.
Stadia. I like to think that it's Stadia because I like that would have a little bit more...
No. Stadia.
It would just have a little bit more to it.
I didn't watch the keynote.
It's the same thing. Like, do you know the car maker Renault? Or Porsche?
Stop.
It's the same way that if you say Porsche, it's like,
It's a Porsche.
But if you say Porsche, you sound a little bit better.
You got that little bit of class.
It's the same way if I showed you the word for Renault, it reads Renault.
Okay. Yeah.
Renault.
Was not picking up what you were saying.
But it's Renault. It sounds better. Yeah. It looks like shit, but it sounds better. So Stadia, welcome to Project Stadia. And then you have some weird Vegas celebrity do that handbook
showcase.
Does that word have like some specific meaning and some? Because I'm gonna look it up real quick because I'm curious.
We're already into the Google talk, but yeah, there's a bunch of people already looking at streaming services, and it's just gonna keep going. I'm pretty sure Time Warner's probably gonna do one, or Spectrum's gonna do one.
Didn't they go back to Time Warner? I thought they were going back.
No, they're still Spectrum.
Okay.
But they're Spectrum, but Time Warner, but they're not, but they are. But we can't be because of legal suits, but we are.
But they're not.
But I'm not. Listen, my name badge is Tim from Time Warner /Spectrum /? How can I not help you today?
So Stadia is the plural form of stadium. Did not know that. As well as stadiums. It's a plural for Stadia.
There's
stadium.
I'm going to say Stadia from now on when I'm talking about stadiums, and nobody is going to know what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
But I also want the phonetic pronunciation of it.
All right, I'll look that up in a second. Stadion, the plural form is stadion, which is, I'm assuming that's how you pronounce that, an ancient unit of distance.
Oh.
Stadia mark is the marks on a telescope sight's reticle.
Oh, okay.
Stadia rod, a surveying tool, and that's really it.
For some reason, I thought of a dowsing wand. I'm going to go find water. While you get me that pronunciation, I'll be forever grateful. And I also just stepped on something on my heel.
Was it wet or was it chonky?
No, I think it was the bottom of my jeans and just the way it...
Stadia.
Stadia?
Yeah, that's how I would read that.
Stadia.
I'll just get a...
Stadia.
Yep. So I am defeated by the language.
The commoners have rise up against
Well,
you.
I mean, you could just say it that way, and then it
Time-
might catch on, and then
Time to
that'll
make
be
a
what-
push to Merriam-Webster.
Let's
You
flip
must
it.
understand that this is Project Stadia. Just put an accent on your A.
Sounds way cooler.
It does.
It's only cooler because I'm doing it in a really offensive accent, probably.
Exactly why it's cool. That's why it's cool.
Project Stadia. It's not. I just for some reason that just reminds me of something out of Civ. Like I can just picture certain civilization leaders saying it, and I'm like, I don't know if that's okay.
Now it's sounding very menacing and evil.
What? No. Listen, just because Gandhi got nukes doesn't mean everything is menacing and evil.
Connie's got nukes.
You bet Gandhi's got nukes. There's nothing better than that meme when he's got the enlightened eyes, just dropping nukes behind him. The internet show that is truly a garbage truck on fire.
Number 8. Earlier in the week, a screenshot from Brazil showed EA Access on a PS4, which would make quite a few people happy. The screenshot was then further given credit when someone looked through EA Access webcode to see mentions of Sony and PS4. There still has been nothing official at the time of recording. Let's see here. Sony did announce that it would be holding a State of Play stream on March 25th, where they will announce new games, new trailers, and updates on upcoming titles. Perhaps this is Sony's first test of direct-style news, Nintendo direct-style news, now that they have stepped away from big press conferences.
Can you tell I wrote that one, folks? Heyo!
It's fine. I have no complaints.
It wasn't really bad, but we have a clearly different writing style.
Yeah.
That's all I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So
It was
thoughts.
smooth. Good to go.
You're not really an EA.
I hate EA.
Well, all right. So ignoring that part, you're not really a sport gamer.
No. Some of them can be fun, but I lose interest extremely fast.
Which I still don't understand. Where sports games, you're doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. How many times does he fucking play Binding of Isaac?
Yeah, but you have to be. I feel like you have to be in.
You have to
like sports. You
right.
have to be invested in sports.
But he doesn't dislike sports.
Yeah, but he's
true.
not watching like fucking baseball every week.
The only one that I play and that I enjoy is NHL, and that's because I like hockey.
For some reason, I also thought you liked football.
I like it. I'll play Madden and stuff like that, but I haven't in a few years.
What if for $5 you could play both of them?
Absolutely, that sounds great to me. Because
Well,
I'm not
welcome
spending-
to EA Access.
Yeah, I'll probably be pretty hype on that. Honestly, that might get me back into like sporting games because I used to play them a lot when I was younger, and like my dad would buy them, and I'm not going to go out and spend money on them.
Well, at most you could pay $15. This is if they do the exact model that's everywhere. You could pay $15 to get the premier tier, and then you get all of them a week early, and it's only for $15 a month. So even if you paid for 2 months at $30, that's $120 in 2 games that you wouldn't have to pay $120 on.
I'm cool with that because I feel like the shelf life of me playing the games is probably going to be within a month or two. So I'll spend like $5-10.
Play
or
Madden
15.
for a month, play NHL for a month, and wash your hands.
Yeah, that's pretty sick, actually.
Yeah. It's a great time. Great time to be alive. Just no idea when this actually might happen. And the state of play thing is funny, too. Because, pending on the next couple stories here, everybody's just going to directs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which
Which
I think
work.
it's not on here, but Nintendo had an indie, didn't it?
It did,
Not that that's
but it wasn't anything
particularly
like,
groundbreaking, but
Yeah. It wasn't one of their major.
Mhm.
Not that it's not anything, not like a sly against it, but they weren't
I don't
running
know
around
why-
promoting it after their Pokemon Direct.
I could see the allure of doing small updates like that more often than doing like E3s, just because of the way information flows nowadays.
Oh, I could see doing one big E3 and then not doing like that's which I think is what kind of killed Sony because you were doing that, then you did Paris Games Week, and then you did PSX.
Yeah.
You were doing 3 big conferences. Just do one conference, which would have been PSX, which they canned. So you did one big conference, and then everything else is just piecemeal throughout the year.
Yeah,
So
Well,
Microsoft does
I would say
E3.
I like the idea more of doing the updates and then making all those shows just fan focused. So you can play the shit there, but they're not really going to make a ton of announcements.
Right. Well, that's what they started doing. The EA did it, and Microsoft, at least with E3 specifically, where they had like the split, where you had your little announcer, actual like auditoriums or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Then what was it? For EA, it's called EA Play.
Yeah.
Where they have all the games and stuff on demos. And I don't know if Microsoft named theirs a specific thing, but you can basically go and play all the Microsoft demos too.
Mm-hmm.
Where they were trying to make E3 a fan event again.
Yeah.
Which, it's not bad, but it's just weird, kind of, when there's already like PAX and Gamescom and every other fan event.
I feel like
Comic-Con.
it's unnecessary to be a game event.
Like a fan...
gamers event. Fan event, sorry.
I can understand having some of a fan event, but you don't need to make it a fan event. You can have fan elements, but still keep it a press conference.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a weird...
I think they were better. Well, see, that's the weird thing is there's so many other conferences that are doing it better as far as fan-focused stuff goes.
Right.
That they might as well just have stayed a press conference and that be their thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And it would keep overhead down for like all the companies involved where they would just be doing basically on-stage directs.
And then doing the impressions with the industry, which I think is the part that probably killed everything.
Yeah.
The industry will never admit it because they're all high on their horses, but you ruined it. Bastards. Number 9. When we discussed the discless Xbox... I'm so worried I'm going to say dickless, by the way. I'm just going to say it now.
I'm waiting for the slip up.
I'm worried I'm going to say dickless. So when we discussed the discless Xbox, before it was on news from Brad...
I mean, it kind of is dickless without the disc drive, you know?
I mean, if you think about it, comes out, comes in, comes out, comes in. From Brad Sams at Thurrott.com, who had the code name for the console as Maverick. It appears to be the real deal, and with a mid-April debut and then a launch, potentially as soon as May. Basically just looks like it's going to be the Xbox One S without a drive, and it's going to come with a 1 terabyte hard drive.
That doesn't... Well, if it's for streaming... Yeah, that's the thing, right? It's for streaming. It's not for digital.
It's for digital.
1 terabyte is not enough.
Depends on what you're doing. My PlayStation is 500 and it's enough.
Yeah, but you're not keeping all the games installed at one time.
No, but that's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to is you having to manage your games. It also depends on what you're playing.
I just feel like if you're going to release a console that doesn't have a disc drive, you should really splurge for a 2 terabyte on there at least.
But even most of the consoles now that are even a terabyte or 500 gigs, even though you're not necessarily installing all the games, your game is loading the disc and then installing the game.
Yeah.
The majority of stuff doesn't run off the disc anymore. It's just almost needed in the console for probably 1/8 of what it did to the console.
Yeah, but I feel like for outside of the coastal regions, it's still faster for people to download a disc than it is to download a game.
You can't download a car. Yeah, no. Or what is it? God, I think that's what the joke. I think that's what the meme is. You wouldn't download a car anyway. Yeah, I agree with you in terms of the speed thing and whatever, but I don't think 1 terabyte is anything to scoff at for.
I don't think it's to scoff at. I just feel like it's not. It's gonna be a problem.
Are you playing a terabyte worth of games at any given moment?
I'm a weird person though. Like
nobody in this room is playing a terabyte of games at any given moment, and I have
Dewey might be.
I'm gonna be on team Matt with this one. I had to get. I know. I had to get an additional hard drive for my PlayStation because I filled up the 500 gigs, and I was like,
"You filled up the 500 gigs? Did you fill up a terabyte?"
Yes.
Did you?
Yes.
With what games?
I don't know. Probably just Grand Theft Auto 5 alone.
So that's what I'm saying. Like if Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead are both 100 gigs,
it's diskless. That means like if you want to watch the idea from Microsoft on this console is to move everything digital.
Right.
So, okay, I'm going to buy this movie. I'm going to watch this TV show. I'm going to play this game.
You're going to stream that movie. You're going to stream that TV show.
Maybe.
And then you're going to buy that game.
But then you're back into the conflicting issue of like, which that was a whole other article that I didn't even throw in the document, was that like our infrastructure on internet is not good enough to support this shit. So like you'd have to. This console is for people who live on the coast, basically. Like people who live inland America aren't gonna like. They don't have stable enough internet to be like, oh, I'm gonna stream everything all the time.
Well,
or
we're gonna get to this conversation again. It will double itself up again.
Okay.
Because you're not wrong.
I'm just saying it's a bad idea.
You're not wrong, but it's going to completely manifest itself again when we get to Google.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Which is actually worse than this.
I'm not saying that this is... I just think this is a half step, is my...
Right, but we also, the last time we talked about this, discussed that they're probably going to be doing the Xbox One X bullshit further down. So that one's probably going to be their actual powerful one. These are the guys that also released a fucking Xbox 360 with a 4 gigabyte drive.
That's
in it.
true.
That was absolutely hilarious.
At the roughly the same lifetime as that they're trying to do this, they released a 360 with 4 fucking gigs.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was really funny when they were like 4
I'll
gigs.
take 996 more of those.
In my eyes, I'm not saying it's not manageable, but in my eyes, the 1 terabyte is where like I think we can agree that a 500 gig console wouldn't release today would not be enough.
No, I would agree right now 500 gigs is not enough. I would agree that a terabyte should be your now default.
Yeah, I see 1 terabyte very quickly becoming a restriction. Just the way the things are.
Not currently, but like,
in a year,
okay,
it'll be a restriction.
I can,
or 2 years a restriction.
I agree with that. I can see
right.
that.
But I just come back to the idea of just manage your fucking games.
Never.
Now this is me saying manage your games. I have a 500 gig hard drive downstairs in the PlayStation that's never been expanded. It's just been the 500 one. Mm-hmm. It's worked the entire time.
Yeah.
I have 3 games installed on there right now: Assassin's Creed, Red Dead, and GTA. The majority of my hard drive is pretty chalked.
Yeah.
It will download the show on release day and go fine. Still have that room.
That's kind of mind-blowing to me.
Right? That
was what I was going to make was the computer reference.
This has 2 terabytes in it. That second terabyte hard drive doesn't touch games. Yeah. It's only the first one. And at any given point, the only 2 big games installed right now, Apex, which I don't remember how big it is, Division, and Football Manager. Like the 3 biggest games. I think Borderlands pre-sequel's 30 gigs, and that's on there too. But like, those are those ones. He's dancing on the keyboard. The Switch. How much does the Switch come with at launch?
I don't even know.
I was going to ask you because it's incredibly small, but I don't remember how much.
8, 30,
something very small,
something like that. Gigs. I have a 32 gig SD card in mine that currently installed on it. Zelda, Mario Kart, Tetris, Mario Party.
That's not a fair comparison.
Pokemon Pikachu.
The Switch is a handheld system. It plays.
You tell that to Nintendo. You tell that to Nintendo who did
granted,
console.
Gameplay, great. Games are great for gameplay. They, compared to the games that we're talking about, look like fucking kids drawing with crayons.
He does kind of a point with that.
He can have the point he wants. That's fine. The point only matters when, once again, we talk about a GTA or a Red Dead that are over 100 gigs. Those are the only 2
those are the games everyone's buying. Those you've just mentioned $2 billion games.
I mentioned $2 billion games that take up 1/8 of your hard drive.
Okay,
is my math right? Hold on, it's not 1/5 of your hard drive.
Yes, but the problem is we are nerds. Okay,
right? I know.
The vast majority of people buying consoles, not nerds. They're not going to know. You know how many hard drives I've sold because people don't realize that they can just delete their games and they're not going to lose them?
Right. But what's that a problem of? Not the system being 1 terabyte, that person being fucking stupid.
They're the customer, though.
And how many times do we know that the customer's fucking stupid? Not always. The customer's always right. The customer's fucking stupid.
I agree. I'm just saying they're the ones buying it. So
yeah, they're dumb.
They're the ones that have to be catered to, unfortunately.
We'll move on.
2 terabytes.
The Xbox One X. does not come with a 2 terabyte drive.
Yeah, there isn't. I don't think there is a console that comes with a 2 terabyte right
It
now.
requires 4K games, which are bigger files.
Yeah.
That right there doesn't make sense. Why would you put a 2 terabyte Xbox in a diskless one when your files are bigger on the 4K one that you didn't put a 2 terabyte one in? If that one was a 2 terabyte
We're getting to
one,
like a circular argument because it's going to be like they know that people will buy more hard drives because they're dumb and don't realize they can delete them.
Right, but Microsoft's also not selling hard drives.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like 1 terabyte hard drives are probably cost them like literally 20 cents to get. So
right, but Microsoft's also not. Remember when they used to package hard drives?
Yeah. Now they're
not doing it anymore.
No.
So it's not like they're benefiting from putting in a smaller hard drive.
Yeah, but they're not
because they don't own Seagate or Western Digital.
True, but that's the other issue why you don't see them using 2 terabyte hard drives or bigger because they're like they can get probably 1 terabytes for like cheap as fuck.
Yeah, but you can even a 2 terabyte. Depending, it also depends on what kind of drive they're using. Because even using a 2 terabyte spinning drive are not expensive.
Yeah,
a spinning drive, and that's determined where. Okay, if they're using a 1 terabyte like SSD drive or NVMe drives and stuff like that, it's a different discussion
for consumers. But like from a business point of view, like if they're buying them, the price difference for them might be the difference between like 50 cents and $1. So like you blow that up, and it's like
right. But it's still your 1 terabyte spinning drive to a 2 terabyte spinning drive versus your 1 terabyte spinning drive to a 1 terabyte SSD. Cost values are going to be different.
We're going to be here a while.
This conversation is going to be going on.
Oh, wait till we get to Stadia.
I got
Project Stadia.
I got some stuff for that also.
Why am I making it a Russian thing?
I don't know. You had like a Latin thing.
Welcome to Project Stadia. In here, gameplay you.
I like that.
And yes, I was going to say Serena Williams fucks you.
Nobody gets that joke.
I get it. It's okay. That was for me.
No, that was actually for me.
Who's up next?
You.
Where are we at? 12?
10.
10?
Right?
Yes.
9?
Let's see here. Microsoft saw the direct style news events that are happening and decided to jump in with their own. The first episode will stream with the name ID at Xbox Game Pass and air on March 26th. Microsoft released a statement saying, quote, "You can expect to learn more about some of the hottest ID at Xbox titles coming to Xbox Game Pass with new reveals, gameplay highlights, and conversations with the developers," end quote. It went on to tease information on After Party, Void Bastards, and Supermarket Shriek. Shriek, as well as, quote, new game announcements, end quote.
It turns out that if Matt just reads really fast, he doesn't fuck up at all.
That was very quick and like
it was correct,
precisely accurate.
Well, now I have like adrenaline flowing through me from arguing about 1 terabyte hard drives.
That's the key. Just you and I start fighting each other, and we will be fueled by the blood of
sweating.
we will be fueled by the blood of our enemies.
Yeah.
Cool. Another direct style, and it makes sense because it's it's their smaller stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need a big conference for it.
I like the format a lot better that way, just to get it small piecemeal.
Right, and it allows me to just, okay, cool, the direct's out.
Yeah.
I don't need to watch the stream. I'll catch the highlights or something else somewhere else. It's not going to be like the groundbreaking moments of a guy playing a flute.
So good. Don't even get me started.
Anyways. No, I like the condensed directs because like the downside to the conferences when they do big conferences, going back to the previous conversation, is you get like for fucking 10 minutes of stage time you get like 2-minute trailers and it's like all right, I don't need all this talking, I just want to see the game and get a quick summary and that's it.
Yeah, it's like 90% hype.
Yeah
Except
for the Sony one. I like that. I like the flute guy.
Flute guy was just funny because it was funny because it was it wasn't an amalgamation, it was a culmination of everything that was just weird about that night. Where like watching it not being there,
that was weird.
So weirdly done. But I'm sure being there was a different discussion. Yeah. But not being there and you're watching it and they're doing all these weird cutaways and stuff, and you're just like, what the fuck am I watching? Which hipster got high on cocaine and went, I got a really artsy idea. You guys want to do an E3 conference like this? Like,
I thought I was on drugs when I was watching it.
I appreciated I appreciated the thought. Like,
Yeah,
then be like, let's make this a real event. Like
The spectacle, if you will.
yes, a spectacle.
Yeah.
You guys remember the XFL?
Yeah.
You know it's coming back.
2020,
right?
baby. Let's go.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guess by who?
Is it McMahon again?
I'm pretty.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. 2020. He's supposed to bring it back after doing more
I
research.
remember watching the first game from with the first, obviously the
Right.
first version. So go ahead. What are you saying?
Because they have another league, correct? Like,
There's a bunch of other ones that started popping up. There's another one that was started by a bunch of veteran players. It's like the equivalent of what the Big Three is to the NBA.
yeah,
Where it's just a bunch of other players that are.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I saw another league like actually televised recently. So, I guess that's just the thing now. We're just gonna have multiple football leagues that are.
Yep.
Interesting.
Bunch of football leagues. Still only one that matters. So we'll see.
XFL's gonna come for that number one spot, baby.
We're going to give it to you.
My brother still has an XFL football. The black and red
I
footballs.
forgot they had the black and red
Ooh,
football.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's also got a truck we should just take.
True.
I'll give him tree fitty.
Tree fit.
I'm gonna need about tree fit.
Oh, you goddamn Paleolithic monster.
Uh,
In number 12, and it's only fitting that I get this one, in a somewhat weird turn of events, Anthem was the best-selling game of February, although the competition wasn't incredibly stiff.
unlike Nate.
Penis
who is
joke.
Incredibly stiff.
You also remember one of the other games that came out in February? We can't make those jokes, people.
Wait, what else came out in February?
What else came out in February?
You just figure it out. Figure it out. It came out in January, never mind. In a somewhat weird turn of events, Anthem was the best-selling game in February, although the competition wasn't incredibly stiff. The data comes courtesy of the NPD group, which only tracks physical sales. I really wish we could get somebody to track digital at some point. Which we won't, because everybody's also trying now to kind of keep their data in. But even without the digital sales included, Anthem was still BioWare's second most successful launch behind Mass Effect 3. Anthem is widely considered a hot mess, so this is probably more of an indication of how far hype can get you in an ever-growing games industry. And this is according to Super Data Research. Anthem made over $100 million in digital revenue during its launch month, which, good news, it almost made back its budget.
Yeah. The surprising part about that is that's more money than Apex. Apex did $93 million.
Apex is free to play.
I was gonna say it's not that surprising because it is free, but it's still
It's surprising that it didn't beat it
Free to
by
play.
more.
Better. You know?
Free to play better. Free to play, people put $93 million in the free to play game. If you do the breakdown, that's just $60, not counting all the microtransactions that were available.
I'm not saying that they didn't make more money. I'm not saying they didn't make more money. I'm just saying it's surprising that Anthem somehow still got more I don't even want to say more sales, but you know what I mean. They made more money than Apex, when Apex is basically everyone's like, this is the ideal battle royale game at the moment.
Right.
This is college kids' fucking final project.
I think we'll end up talking in circles again, but I will make the same point and we'll do the same thing that fucking happened last time we were here, where you and I say the same thing, but it's slightly different. Where I think it's
my curse.
It's more.
Just trying to impress you.
It's the more impressive. It's the more impressive part where Anthem is as close as it is to Apex.
Yeah.
Where in theory, yes, I agree. Apex should have blown it out of the fucking water.
Mm-hmm. Bottom line, it probably literally. When I say bottom line, I mean
profit margins.
Yeah, it probably did.
It absolutely did. But it's still funny how close it is. Then,
yeah.
In terms of just that. If you don't look at the bottom line and you just look at, hey, I have $100 million. Hey, I have $93 million. And you don't look at you don't ask any more questions other than that, that's pretty close.
Yeah.
But once again, you look underneath the hood and there's a Toyota engine.
That damn Toyota.
Everything, all the mysticism goes away.
I have a quick jab. I guess I'm going to try to get into Apex.
Ooh, go for it. Because I'll just jab back on Binding of Isaac again. I have no other good joke.
That's fine. It's dipped down in Twitch views quite a bit.
Well, yeah. No shit. Like I don't like,
I'm just saying,
I don't want to say like no shit, but like is that a hot take?
No, not a hot take, but I'm just saying I don't know. Is it like does it still have like a super high player base, or is it like kind of losing luster? Because it's really good, obviously.
So
Battle
yes,
Royale,
it still has a player base, but it is never going to be bigger than Fortnite. Nothing will be bigger than Fortnite.
You can't beat Fortnite.
Welcome to the fucking world we live in. Also, all the deals ran out for paying people to play Apex.
I don't necessarily agree with that first statement.
Well, something eventually will be bigger than Fortnite.
I mean, the issue is that
something has to unseat it.
Fortnite has the maturity that Apex doesn't, which makes it more enjoyable to play long term.
The only problem they have right now is they're focusing more on content rather than like functionality. I don't play it, but like from people that I know that play it, it's a little buggy, a little laggy now, and there's like some things that haven't been fixing.
Fortnite's been going strong for how long? So it has the whole package, whereas Apex is like
right. It's still just starting, but the majority of people are like, "Oh my god, unseated Fortnite." Well, guess what? Call of Duty unseated Fortnite too.
Sekiro is pulling over 100,000 concurrent views right now.
With everything that's going to be a giant multiplayer game, like single player games pulling over 100,000 are always a big thing.
Yes,
because it's just you. Like, but the multiplayer games where you're pulling 100, thousands of people are going to be always like Call of Duty beat Fortnite. And I think I made a joke on this show because the Call of Duty Twitter screenshotted when they passed Fortnite on Twitch for the day or whatever, and I went, cool, let me know what that number looks like next week, because it's not going to be fucking close.
No.
What'll be curious, we'll have to keep an eye on it, is the numbers when Apex releases content. Like releases content.
Well, now
they just did the season pass, correct?
The battle pass just started, but the problem currently, because one of the watching Doc plays, still, and Shroud still plays and stuff like that. But the problem too is that Division just came out, and they've both gone to play Division for a while.
Yeah.
So it's just going to kind of be we're slightly reaching mindshare territory problem, but once they finish Division,
they'll be back.
They'll go back to their Battle Royale bread and butter because it's the easiest thing they can keep doing. And then, like, as a new update comes out for Division or something, they'll go back in and get their weekly done for Division, then go back to playing Battle Royale. Like,
I'm just saying, like, it'll be interesting to see how the Twitch views look when they release a content update, and then if over the course of it releasing content updates, if they start to reach parity. I
would assume probably pretty close. I think you'll see something similar to like when WoW drops a new expansion.
Yeah.
And they complain, or they don't complain, but you get the news report that's like, oh my god, WoW's down to only 8 million subscribers, and then a new expansion drops, you're like,
back up to 16 million.
WoW's back up to 16 million subscribers. Like, yeah, because we all got everything done and then just left, and like once there was new stuff, we're all like, cool.
That's how that works.
That's what happens. It's the same thing with any game that able to maintain its popularity and then add new stuff. Where like when No Man's Sky adds new stuff, people are just like, they're alive still. It's a different audience.
Yeah. You mean No Man's By?
Oh,
that's that old Joe back in there.
What was I going to say? I feel like if we don't get another big like good battle royale game, I think it's just going to turn into like Fortnite. In Apex trading, their Twitch title back and forth.
Don't worry, we're getting like 3 more because Halo's going to have it.
Good.
Good.
They'll probably make a phenomenal one.
I'm not saying that they're like we've had this conversation before, I think.
They just need to
I think we got into an argument once about whether Halo would make a good battle royale or not.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I said no. I don't think I.
You said no. I said yes.
How dare you?
Maybe I said no, but I think I was thinking.
It was one of those. It was. I can tell when you're arguing with me just to argue sometimes, and I think it was one of those situations.
He just needed to have a counterpoint.
Where it's like I don't agree. I slightly agree, but I'm not as passionate about it as you are. So I'm gonna have to take you down a peg or two.
Because I think I probably had the technicality problems where I was just like, certain versions of that multiplayer would be fine, but other things do not work. Like, you can't put some of the like abilities out of reach in the game because they just wouldn't. That doesn't make sense. They don't work that. But depending on like the map and stuff and how they kind of do things, there's a way they can do it and make it work. But
we all agree that Halo's going to be the best battle royale ever. All right, let's talk about Google.
Cool. So I disagree with everything Matt just said. I think Halo will have a battle royale, and that's about as far as I'm willing to go.
They will.
I think Doom might have a battle royale.
Could be fun.
We still have Firestorm.
I want.
Firestorm still coming out. Did you watch the trailer for Firestorm?
I did not.
Because I want you to. Because did you play Bad Company too?
Yes.
I need you to watch this trailer because
Okay.
I can't get it out of my head. But we're gonna keep going into Project unless you have something to say.
I'm seeing multiple digits fly across there, so I think we're.
Yep, we are a little bit. So,
The only thing I'm going to say, I think that's it. We can go to the next.
Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
what are you gonna say?
I hate battle royales, and I want them to die. Please.
That's all right. That's fine.
What if I
Anything,
announced
kill them?
Binding of Isaac Battle Royale? It was like Tetris, but Battle Royale.
That'd be
I don't know.
interesting,
I don't know
challenges.
how that would work, but
Nobody knew how Tetris Battle Royale was going to work
I
either.
guess that's true. I'd be number one top dog in every match. That's all I know.
Welcome to how the turntables.
I'm gonna make that battle royale. I'll come back to you.
Shall we?
Yeah, go ahead.
Google.
Google.
Everything
Project.
Google.
We'll all just say with the same word back and forth, and it'll go great. So
Google?
I didn't get into a giant news dump on this. Does anybody want to actually give more news dump? And then I'll do what I always do and say I don't know much. And then as you say things, I'll interrupt you.
Okay, I can. I left an article up that we can skim through.
Okay.
I'm going to preface it by saying basically everything that we knew and assumed is true. Is how it's going to.
Do you want me to give you like a little a briefer?
Yeah, if you
an
want.
overall summary. Mm-hmm. So Google had their. I don't think it was a keynote for them, but they had their big event at GDC that we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. They announced Project Stadia.
Stadia.
Good man.
Stadia.
Yeah, Nico. Nico, let's go play Project Stadia. God, fucking Roman. Anyway, so
hold on. Let me just read this real quick. It's called Stadia, whatever. Evidently inspired by the notion of a collective appreciation of gaming skill. What the fuck?
Okay, well, I don't like that.
Anyway.
But let's go back to calling
It's back
Project
to Stadia.
Yeah, it's Stadia. No, Stadia. Project Stadia, and I'm calling it that. Spread the word. Anybody listens to this, you hear anybody say Stadia, you slap them down. Project Stadia. Anyway, so they announced that it is a game true streaming service. I think that was born out of their Project Stream, right? Or Project, what was that thing? Web browser with Assassin's Creed Odyssey?
Project. I think it was just Project Stream, right?
Okay, yeah. So it was born out of that. Basically, the idea would be you can play on any piece of hardware. They have their own controller. And you could watch a trailer for a game. A button would pop up, and you could hit play now, and then it would just stream to your piece of hardware, and you could play the game.
Yeah, I watched a little bit on it. I have a few things to add to this.
Go for it.
They did show a couple things. They do have their own controller,
right?
But they do. They said they'll have any other controller work with it,
right?
So preference.
But every other controller works with a 100-second latency.
They kind of inferred that because the shtick with their controller is it connects directly to their servers over Wi-Fi.
Yes. So you have to get their controller. The basically. Big thing that I saw that was cool, and I wonder how, or if this is their big thing,
the teraflops. Was it the teraflops?
Was it the teraflops?
No,
we need that on our shirt. Was it the teraflops?
So essentially, if you were to watch somebody streaming, if somebody was streaming on YouTube, whatever, you could essentially crowd get into their lobby, and that's how their matchmaking is ideally supposed to work.
Do you want to know who else tried to do that? A little service called OnLive.
Well, I just like the idea behind it. I don't think it'll work correctly.
OnLive was just 10 years too early.
I thought that was an interesting concept that they basically were like, a YouTuber could play matches with his community. Everyone queues up, and then he just they just go in as the games go.
Yes, that's essentially what one of their big selling points was. I think that would be cool if it's implemented well and it actually works well. But I could see that being number one, super toxic in certain instances.
It's not even a toxicity thing. It is a, and I'm sure we'll talk about it. But it is a massive problem when you discuss multiplayer games in this scenario. in terms of streaming multiplayer games.
What do you mean?
Latency, connection, video quality, all that stuff is going to be a gigantic hurdle for them to overcome.
I haven't had time to deep dive into any of it, and honestly, I don't think Google's released a ton of information. But their CEO claims that he said in a quote, and this isn't an absolute direct quote, but it's very close. That he basically was like, I absolutely do not think latency is going to be an issue.
They were like, we have the power to do this.
Essentially, they were very firm on it.
Yeah.
It was like, I was like, you really want to be like that?
My part with that is where they try to $6 million man it, but no, we have the technology. We can make it better, faster, and stronger.
The way they talk, that's what it sounds like. They plan on just straight throwing money at it until it works.
They're like,
my thing with that is they have to go toe to toe with the worst person for them to go toe to toe with, the FCC.
You can't really do much there.
That's the person that I think will give them the hardest time for quite literally no reason.
I guess that's
because the damn FCC, with the way that they, I don't want to get into this, but the way that they've currently been operating in regards to the internet could horrifically skew what that price model would be that would end up having to go back on the consumer. Because even if they throw X amount of money in it and get the technology side of it working, now they have to pay for the service side of it. Because while they might be the ones delivering it, Google's not my internet provider.
Correct.
I would love for them to be my internet provider. Because I would have fiber at that point.
Not a millionaire, but
I would just have fiber.
Yeah.
Google does fiber. So that'd be great. But Google's not. So Google would have to probably negotiate some bullshit deal because net neutrality is not in place. So here comes all of that probably actually happening.
Yeah, but if you use their... I'm curious. I don't know. I want to see...
There's a lot of thoughts that could potentially go into this. But then it also comes to the thing of like, some people, I don't, but some people have bandwidth caps.
Yeah, which that was brought up.
Streaming a game would nuke that.
Yeah. And they Google's stance is they think that internet providers will change their data caps and stuff to suit the customers.
I think internet providers have to.
Yeah.
But will they? No.
It'll be a fight.
They will be.
No, there will literally be fist fights, virtual and physical, in courtrooms over these money-grabbing whores.
They're not going to do anything willingly. I feel like that they're going to have to be taken to court.
They will have to get forced to do it.
Yes.
And I will gladly be paid as a lobbyist by Google to go take over the FCC.
This is for you, Google. We got you.
I got you, B.
Pay me, though, please. Need some money.
I'm a fam. I'm a boy. I'm a boy blue.
I'm trying to think what else they...
Or, sorry, Alphabet.
The internet requirements, the bandwidth requirements are interesting. They claim that by launch, they will be able to do 4K at 60 frames per second with 30 megabits.
Which I do not believe for a second.
That's really hard to believe.
I bet they could do it. No, I'll recorrect myself. I bet they can do it, but I guarantee you will notice tearing and stuttering and lag. For once again, maybe us who are experienced, both in terms of video and games and stuff like that. But maybe for the... God, why did I laugh just saying the word? But maybe for the uninitiated. It's a Bane joke. Yeah. For the uninitiated, they won't notice where like this barrier of entry that they're presenting is supposed to be super low.
Yeah, there's no
to like mobile users.
Yep.
To the people playing Candy Crush.
Correct.
But this at the same time is not for those people, but it is for those people. Like the technology is not for those people. The barrier of entry is.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes it really weird because the barrier of entry is really low, but a lot of those people are going to be your Midwest guys that are just on their phones playing Candy Crush. That doesn't... something about it.
I got some latency measurements for you if you're curious.
Go for it, because in case you're curious, which article are you reading?
This one's from PC Gamer.
Okay, I think Ars Technica did a breakdown on latencies.
Okay.
And
I'm assuming they probably have the same measurements because they were basically, it was from Google's showroom essentially at the.
it might be, or it was
It should be similar, but
yeah, I think it was Ars Technica. I'm not positive. Which one's the guys that do like the high fidelity like game video reviews?
Digital Foundry.
It's Digital Foundry.
Yeah,
not Ars Technica.
Yeah, I think I think they took the Digital Foundry's numbers, but they got them from Google's setup, so it's not a controlled experiment.
Well, that's why I'm curious.
Unbiased.
That's why I'm curious which numbers you're about to tell me, because I know roughly what Digital Foundries were.
Okay, so the latency for Google, what do we call it again? Stadia.
Project Stadia.
Google Stadia, 166 milliseconds.
Okay.
Project Stream was 179.
Okay, so they improved by 13.
A PC at 30 frames per second is, I don't get this whole side of it, but that's about 112 milliseconds.
Okay.
A PC at 60 frames per second is 79. An Xbox One X is 145.
Right. So that sounds about right. Which, in case anybody's doing a little bit of number reorganization there, your best result is to run a PC at 60 frames.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For half, roughly, right?
Yeah, it was halfway.
For half the milliseconds?
Yep.
The issue, I don't want to say it's an issue, but I think it's good enough for most people, which is a bit sad because...
Well, I think it goes right into the barrier of entry conversation.
Yeah, like...
Somebody buying a full gaming PC versus...
We wouldn't necessarily be happy with it, but they're bringing it down to the lowest common denominator, which will be fine for everyone.
Yeah,
and we're also not the target audience.
Yeah, but you know how this is going to go. Same thing that when consoles became prolific was it brought down the quality of PC games to a certain degree because we just started getting PC ports.
Right.
Which is probably... I can see that happening with cloud streaming where they're like, it's going to run good on this freaking 10 teraflop server and they'll just stream it and we don't need the quality to be crazy because like it'll be in 4K but the bit rate won't be crazy high.
Right, yeah.
So then they'll start making games that cater to that, and when you throw it on a high-end gaming PC, you'll be like, all right, I have a $2,000 computer that plays this game that looks like it's from 2015 or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to make a joke about me in there, but
no
Binding of Isaac joke in there.
I thought about it, but I just the look I think was enough.
I braced myself for it, so the damage is done.
What else do we have? I can throw you through the server specs if you want them.
That's a server.
Let's see here. It's a custom processor clocked at 2.7 gigahertz with not that we care, but 9.5 megabytes of L2 and L3 cache.
Ooh,
neat.
It's a custom AMD GPU, which that was the other thing. I don't know if anyone saw, but AMD got the exclusive, I guess you'd call it, contract.
I did not see that, but that's interesting.
So it's going to be AMD GPUs that use their high bandwidth memory.
Right. That's pretty much what I figured. I was surprised.
Mm-hmm.
What processor were they running?
It doesn't say. It just says custom processor. So I'm assuming it's also...
I would assume it's a version of a Threadripper.
The rumors that I saw said that it was going to be a version. I can't remember what code. Whatever AMD's latest GPU is, and also probably a Ryzen Threadripper of some kind.
Yeah,
but
it just wouldn't make sense for them to do an AMD card and not do a.
It's using 16 gigs of RAM shared between the GPU and CPU.
That seems really low.
Yeah, but it's the high bandwidth memory.
Still.
That shit's stupid fast.
I know, but...
and they're using SSD
You're trying to launch this thing for the country. You want high bandwidth. You're going to tell me 16 gigs? But 16, I got 16 gigs on my own computer. It's not high bandwidth, but I understand. I'm just saying. I'm just saying you want to have bold and brash numbers. You're going to tell me we're going to put out a 1 terabyte Xbox One S. I got 16 gigs of RAM in my server. Get the fucking, come on. Really impressed me with the numbers. You got 10 teraflops and 16 gigs of RAM.
I'm curious how it's going to work. Because, I mean, the servers have to be set up to service multiple people.
Right. I'm really, I'm looking forward to it, and I'll probably, depending on what's on it, what games are on it or whatever, I might try it for a month. This all comes down to price points and everything like that we haven't seen yet. I might give it a shot just to see, just to get a taste.
The other thing that they said was that it should, with this type of setup, the way that the streaming works with the servers and everything like that, that you could have Battle Royale games that would have thousands of people instead of hundreds of people.
Yeah. Okay, cool. How about in another 16 years?
Can you imagine that? I'd kill myself.
Do you not remember?
You wouldn't have to because you die in seconds.
Do you not remember MAG?
I don't know.
I remember MAG, and it was rough.
150 people? Was it 50 on a team?
150, 160, something like that.
Yeah. People in a 1v1v1 team scenario online shooter, multiplayer only for PS3.
Horrid lag. Horrid.
Yeah.
By MAG beta, I was calling it lag beta because it was busted.
Granted, that was 2007?
Probably.
So we're 12 years into the future.
MAG's coming back, baby.
Yeah, but if you think about the way the setup is,
It's a Battlefield music.
it would be way easier because instead of having the consoles having to tell the server what's happening in their game, the game would be happening on the server and just telling all the, like, just saying, hey, this is
But internet speeds are still, you're right, it would be easier, but internet speeds are still a factor in both scenarios.
Oh, yeah.
Let's find out what
sure.
happens. You know, I'm excited. I'm interested.
I'm interested.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued because it's Google.
In an ideal
When
world,
I watched the OnLive press conference in 2008 or 9, I watched it live. I watched it streamed and everything. And I went, damn, that'd be freaking awesome. Because they were showing like people hopping in and out of Crisis. And I was like, there's no way. This is way too good. There's no way this is real. And then it doesn't work. It goes under. And then OnLive gets bought by Microsoft. So it's just like, all right. And then we see PlayStation Now with the Gaikai. It hasn't really done it. But now Google's throwing their hat in the game. You're like, all right, so I guess we're doing it. Somebody's going to figure this out.
I think I think they can do it. I don't know. I feel like they wouldn't try it again and not be like ready to do it, if that makes sense.
Well, I mean, Google Plus.
I think Google will do it well. It's just, the pro is also the con.
Yeah.
It's Google.
Yep.
It's interesting that, I mean, I'm assuming this is going to be their whole, the access to Stadia is going to be exclusive to YouTube as well. So you're not going to have Twitch streamers being able to.
It seemed very.
Do you want to hear like the nightmarish thing they could do?
I don't, because that's what I'm thinking about.
Nightmare scenario. Let's go.
So you have to sign in with your Google account, right?
Which they said that already.
Which they have access to all the stuff that they service you ads with already, right?
Correct.
Which means you could be playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey. They could tell what is happening in the game based on soundtrack being played, buttons you're inputting, stuff like that. They could know when you're no longer kind of doing anything, so you might be kind of in a lull, and they could just hit you with an ad in the middle of your game.
Yep. There's so much. So much.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Great. This ain't Tony the fucking Tiger.
They're great.
All right. Anybody got anything else?
Nope.
Team Google.
Hashtag?
Hashtag.
We'll get you that shirt. I'll get it printed up. The only deal I have to mention is for the next 36 hours, Tacoma is free on the Humble Store. So that's 36 hours from 11 o'clock Friday night, March 22nd.
Rock and roll, brother.
You guys figure it out after that.
That's math. I'm not doing that right now.
Neither am I. Bye.